Second video for week number 6. This is about pretérito and imperfecto. Like I said before, this is very important. This is all about Spanish too. You need to get or understand pretérito and imperfecto very well, okay? In order for you to go to the next level, which that will be Spanish 3. All right, so we talk about, let's open this. All right, about how to conjugate pretérito, regular verb, verbs, okay, this is the ending, irregular, this is how you conjugate the whole verb, this is the stem changing verb, which I recommend you to learn the song, so you will pretty much cover, or the song covers pretty much all the stem changing verb, most of them. And this is the ending for these ones right here. And be careful with these 3 verbs, because when you conjugate those 3 verbs, right, for the ellos form, you cannot have an I. And also here, how you conjugate dormir and divertirse in pretérito. Then we have imperfecto, that I told you the good thing about imperfecto is the imperfecto have only 3 irregular verbs. This is how you conjugate the verb, okay? And this is a regular verb, this is the endings. Here we are missing the accent marks, okay? So I want you to, where are the accent marks? Follow this one right here. This is the right one with the accent marks, okay? This one does not have accent marks. And again, this is the pretérito. Now, what's the difference between pretérito and imperfecto? Pretérito talks about actions that happen one time and the action was completed. Imperfecto talks about action that was not completed in the past, that happened more than one time. When you talk about time, and when you're talking about age. All right. So now let's go into the rules right here. All right. So I have here pretérito and I'm here imperfecto. So going back again, I'm going to repeat this again. Pretérito, when the action happens one time, okay? So for example, se levantó a las 6 de la tarde. So he woke up today at 6 o'clock. That happened one time. That's it. So it's imperfecto and the action was completed. Here, we're going to talk about this one later. You also use pretérito when you see the beginning and when you see the ending of an event, okay? For example, la película empezó a las 3 de la tarde, terminé el proyecto a la medianoche. So, empezó, the movie start. So, start have to be in past tense because we're talking about the beginning of the movie. And here, we're talking about terminé el proyecto en la medianoche, that you end a project at 12 o'clock a.m., okay? This one have nothing to do with time. It's talking about the beginning of the event and when you finish the event. That we are not talking about time, okay? Pretty much that you complete watching the movie. Here, pretty much that you complete the project. It's not about the time because time, remember, is imperfecto. Describe the action event occur. Okay, so when you are talking about an action that happened in the past, but you're being very, very specific when that begins or when that ends. Very specific. So here I'm being very specific. Trabajé en 1980. So I worked in that company in 1980. All right, I'm being very specific. So that's why I'm using pretérito. Okay, so when you are describing where an event took place, where, okay, where an event took place. Matrimonio is wedding, when somebody gets married. So the wedding was at the Hilton Hotel, okay? So you have to use pretérito and you have to use the verb ir in pretérito, okay? The wedding was at the Hilton Hotel. So where an event took place. So describe when an event occurred. Let's see. Describe when an event occurred. Okay, so here again, we're talking about pretty much when an event starts, okay? So action completed. It's not about really the time. Talk about complete action again. Comí pizza ayer, so I ate pizza. And also every time you hear those words, you have to use pretérito. El año pasado, una vez, ya, ese día, anoche, anteayer, de repente, el año pasado, el día pasado, el viernes pasado. You have to use pretérito. Then, like I say, this one will be the last one, okay? When you use imperfecto, when the action happened many times in the past. For example, and this one is pretty much, it's like talking about things you used to do, okay? Like yo comía helado todos los domingos. I used to eat ice cream every Sunday. That it's an action that happened in the past. You don't eat ice cream anymore on Sundays, but you used to do it. And the action was happening multiple times. Also, you use imperfecto when in English you have to use was plus ing or were plus ing. For example, I was walking, or I was eating, I was talking. In Spanish is imperfecto. When you describe a condition, for example, condition of physical condition or feeling. All right, yo estaba muy triste, yo estaba muy feliz, yo estaba muy deprimido, yo estaba muy ocupado. You have to use imperfecto. Also, you use imperfecto when you talk about age, attitude, or appearance, okay? Yo tenía 5 años cuando aprendí a montar bicicleta. So I was 5 years old when I learned how to ride bike. Appearance, la señora era muy bonita cuando era joven. So the lady was beautiful when she was young. And then Marta era muy alta. So Marta used to be tall. For some reason, she's not tall anymore. I guess she's old. And you know how old people turn to shrink, I guess. I don't know. So again, age, attitude, and appearance, you have to use imperfecto. We already talked about this one. Actions that was repeating multiple times in the past. And also you talk about, when you talk about location of items, where things were located in the past. All right, for example, my shoes were in the trunk of my car. The girls were inside the car. My basketball ball was inside my closet. So location of item, you have to use imperfecto. When you talk about time, you have to use imperfecto. When you're talking about when you talk about weather, you have to use imperfecto. Now be careful with weather, because if you say yesterday it rained, you have to use pretérito. But if you don't say when it rained, then you have to use imperfecto. So be careful with weather. How can I hide? Okay. Be careful with weather. Okay. All right. Again, if you don't say when, then it's imperfecto. But when you've been very specific about the weather, you have to use pretérito. Okay, and this is the key word. Then you use for pretérito. You use todos los días. Every time you use todos los días, you know it's imperfecto. Siempre es imperfecto, because todos los días indicate that the action was repeating multiple times, and siempre indicates the same thing. All right, it looks like I'm going to make another video. This is, I have only 2 minutes. I might have to make another video about the rules. All right, I know when you see these can be very confusing, because the rules can be similar, but really they're not. Just you have to pay attention to the context. Like right here, Like right here, la película empezó a las 3 de la tarde, you will say, well, we're talking about time, and according to the rules, time is imperfecto. No, we're talking about that you watch the movie. Yes, that 3 o'clock, it's just to give you a time when you watch the movie. But really what it's telling me that the movie already start. Okay, I'm sorry, already start. All right, we're not talking about the time. Now, this one right here, I want to talk about this rule right here. Interrupt something already is going on. All right, so here is when you mix pretérito and imperfecto in the action. For example, yo caminaba. Okay, so I was walking, yo caminaba. The action is in process. Okay, cuando empezó a llover. Okay, so yo caminaba, the action was in progress. I was walking when it started to rain. So the action, the rain, disrupt my walking. So when an action is disrupting another action that is in progress, so the action that is disrupting, in this case, it's the rain, you have to conjugate that in pretérito, okay? And the action that is in progress have to be in imperfect, all right? Also, I can twist this. Empezó oh my gosh, empezó a llover cuando yo caminaba. Alright, I gotta make another video. Sorry guys. Otro video.